This is my Asiwaju story. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
May we meet you, sir?
My name is Olusegun Adeniran Onilude, the current chairman of Badagry local government. Well, Olusegun Onilude was born in the 60s and attended the primary school in Badagry, Asiwaju Primary School. From there to Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta. I finished my secondary school at Maleko. Presently, I'm a candidate of PhD, educational management. As I am a teacher by profession. Before I veered into politics, I rose to become the education secretary of Badagry for about 10 years.
Oh,
From there, I became the chairman of Badagry local. I'm married with children.
so are you enjoying the dividends of democracy?
Well, I'm one of the luckiest one and privileged one, I would say. So far, so good. I have reasons to be grateful, thankful.
Yeah, so now we're going through our own program. It's all about Asiwaju. So can you tell me a little about Asiwaju? How did you go to know Asiwaju? Who is Asiwaju?
Asiwaju, to me, is a special breed person. Is someone that God has naturally endowed. When you look at his background, humble beginning, and he rose to be number one in Nigeria, one of the greatest in Africa. You can't but give it to him that God has something very unique. God has sown something very unique in his life. I got closer to him when he first came out as a senator. That was when I started hearing about him. I was green then, but when when he became the governor, I started having a very close rapport. Then I was trying to become education secretary, so that took me closer to him. As a matter of fact, he was the one that ordered my nomination because there are issues surrounding my nomination then. So ever since, I've benefited from him in so many ways. But apart from that, he has this snag. Anything he touches comes to gold. And I remember we were with him one time at Bodilon. We had issues among ourselves, the chairman. He was telling us, these are my representatives, our ESCO. Anytime they come to you and tell you, as you said, whether you believe them or not, you must answer them. You too, be praying that God should do you the way I am. So that person that use your name to lie, person that use your name to tell the truth will be making it from you. Don't you want that? Okay, who's among you that has not lied with my name before? Stand up. Everybody has to agree. He's so special. I watched him at close close contact, and I realized that even when you start fighting him, at the end of the day, you will lose out. Something must be special about that person. He's a great man. He's well, the background and the way he rose to stand up, I think it's something that should be studied. It's not just about brilliance. No. There are so many brilliant people around, but what level have they reached? Some have distinguished themselves in their various fields, but to bring everybody together and you start leading them, give it to Asiwaju. I can't really explain him the way words fails me in explaining Asiwaju, but I think he's naturally, divinely endowed.
Now, how will you look about this
Generosity. When politics, in the past, what we were told was that when you join politics, you come together, leadership, you contribute money to run an election. Asiwaju put a stop to that. You come and he listens to you, empower you to go and get whatever you want to get. At times, people, I don't know how he's doing it. When you look at the way he gives out money to people, Abiola was a donor, big donor when he was alive. But the way and manner Asiwaju gives out money, it makes a child's play of Abiola there. He gives to everybody. He does not.
But you know, he's part of Abiola's cabinet.
Yeah, I know. I still have opportunity of looking through on my phone while Abiola was campaigning then. Even when Abiola visited Abacha, I saw Asiwaju behind Abiola. Probably they have something in common in doling out. And that has shown us that givers never lack. The more you give, the more God will endow you, will prosper you, and you will be able to do more. He gives, he's second to none. The motto of my secondary school, Baptist Boys High School, is only second to none. In terms of generosity, Asiwaju is second. And that's why we can't be talking of his replacement. If you know how to be, were you that much endowed the way he's endowed? Can you do it and without any problem? And he can fix anything. That's the person I call Mr. Fix It, not the late Mr. Fix It that we all know.
If you look at Asiwaju makes people to laugh. But Asiwaju has built a lot. How many people built the way Asiwaju built? If you look at it now, do you think you can still see one Asiwaju again?
Nature does not always allow vacuum. We may not see. In fact, my prayer is nobody should attempt to behave the way Asiwaju behave. You won't get it right. There can't be a second Asiwaju. No. You can only be yourself. Look, when you look at the personality of Obafemi Awolowo, his uniqueness is different. Look at Abiola we've mentioned. It's different. They have something in common. All of them, the three of them, were brilliant people. Brilliant people. Exceptional people. But their style differ. So anybody who wants to be Tinubu can only be a copycat. They should try. We pick some lessons from him. He's generous, he's bold, he's courageous, he has connection, and he knows how to make use of human beings. Those are attributes we can pick and try to emulate. But to say I want to do it exactly, or even if you have everything, the natural endowment, you have it. So nature will bring us when Asiwaju is old. Definitely one day he will leave us, and I'm very sure there won't be vacuum, but we will miss that. I'm very
Right. I want you to tell people of Nigeria, most especially people that does not know the background of Asiwaju, his Nadepo time. What can you tell us a little about his Nadepo?
yes.
You know, he is part of Nadepo.
He was part of Nadeco. I remember when the Jagaban was trying to leave Nigeria. He came through this our corridor, Badagry, and some of our leaders were handy supporting him to move.
The way he dressed when he wants to move.
Yes. No, you don't let the cat out of the bag all the time. But he passed through the Nadeco way via Badagry to Republic of Benin, and he moved. But when he left, he did not forget the struggle. He joined hands with some other eminent personalities, Wale Soyinka and the rest of them, this Abraham Adesoya, former Ikuti, Pioneer and Co. And they come around with Nadeco. With Nadeco, for those who are at home and those abroad, they were supporting them, giving financial support and other logistics. And they were able to fight that regime of oppression, that Sonny Abacha regime. They fought him to stand still. And God on their side were able to conquer. That is why it is good to be good all the time. You don't know when opportunity will come. The man was there, spending all his resources. Some people will be saying, it was when Asiwaju became governor that he became rich. No, they missed it. This was a man who had been spending money in dollars to fight us. He said it. He said during the Nadeco time, he was already a millionaire in dollars.
That's when he was in Mobi then.
In Mobi, he was already a millionaire in dollars, not in naira. So he had made, and because of knowledge in financial management, he was able to know how to manage money and use it to the advantage of himself and the generality of the people. So while he was there, he was sponsoring activities, protests. And eventually, when this dispensation of democracy came in, that was why all these, our leaders then, Abraham Adesoya and Co, rallied around him. They remembered the man that supported them. They remembered the man that was financing them. They remember the man that was part of them. And that was why they insisted that it must be one of them. And that one
to
of
be
them,
the governor
to be the governor of Lagos State. You know, there were price issues then between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and late Funsho Williams.
Yeah.
But the leadership, majority of the leadership, perhaps except Baba Daudu, and one on.
I think it's late now.
It's late.
Yeah.
But the majority of them queued behind Asiwaju, and that was what made him the governor of Lagos. And from there, he showed leadership. Even when our former president decided to take Southwest from AG, Asiwaju was Lagos State was the only man standing. Asiwaju was the only man standing.
That fought the struggle.
That fought. And with that one man in the state, he consistently fights them, did the struggle, and regained most of the Southwest back to the progressive. From there, as if it was an impossible task, when at the appropriate time, he was supporting others, spending his money, using his platform, promoting them. You will recall the time of Ribadu.
Yeah.
You will recall the time of Atiku too. Recall the time of Jonathan. Then at this 2023, the Emilokan slogan came in. And people thought it would be impossible. But because of his special nature, because of his acumen, endowment, he weathered the storm. And the rest is history today.
Yeah. Asiwaju being the president of the decision Nigeria is it now or has been in before, but everybody complaining about hardship.
Yeah, no doubt there is hardship on the land. But let me give an analogy. Of recent in Lagos, a 2-story building collapsed. That story building that collapsed, the problem with it, was it that day? No. The problem had been on. I remember the time when they said we were borrowing money to strengthen Naira. We were borrowing a lot of money for subsidy. We were even using more money to print Naira. Those problems, regardless of, even if it's not Asiwaju that is the president today, if it were to be another person, the problem will still be there. I was telling one young guy came to me and said he was surprised the way things are now, that he had thought with Asiwaju, prices of things will go down. And this person works in the orthopedic hospital locally, local work. I was telling her that, look, when somebody has fracture and it comes to you, can you just tell that person, will you command the person, arise, and the person moves? Said no. Especially when there is bruises on the leg too, you suspend the bones management and treat the bruises first. When the bruises heal, that's when you start treating the fractured bone. And when you are treating the fractured bone, you'll be doing it, the person you are trying to treat will always be in pain. You will be telling that person, sorry, using necessary things until you feel you set it, then you use your POP, and the person will stand stagnant. He won't be moving with it for a while. From there, you start healing up. The problem with Nigeria has been there. It comes at a very difficult time. All Nigerians know that troubled times were ahead when it came. But then too, one of his attributes is he's a courageous man. So he knows these problems are there. It doesn't matter to him to even lose his popularity.
Even people were calling him sort of names.
It doesn't matter. You see, Nigerians, we too have been in this world for a while. When a government comes, you always say the previous one, the predecessor, is better than the previous one. So it has been like that. It has been like that. But we can't be drifting like that. Somebody must come and halt it. And halting it means things will be hard. And we are not used to that. We are used to somebody coming around, bringing money. We don't care where that money comes from. Dole it out, everybody collects the money. Then he finishes his tenure, goes, and another person comes in. The same problem. We say, oh, problem again. So somebody must treat this ailment. If God will use Asiwaju Bola Ahmed to relieve us of this economic ailment, then my support goes for him.
How would Nigerian people know that Ashwaju is fixing Nigeria for them? Majority of the youth nowadays does not know Asiwaju very well. They only know he's a president, Emiloko, he's studying, he's making hardship. But how would Nigerians know that Asiwaju is fixing Nigeria for the generation coming up?
It's one of the things we will do, all of us. We have to arm ourselves with information, with activities he's going through. Very recently, I read World Bank report where, and not too long ago, I was reading Omokri response to Dele Muhammadu's assertion that he is not seeing light at the end of the tunnel. But Omokri was able to come out with concrete analysis, figures, data of development. We've started increasing our foreign reserve. Exports is going up. Before we just think. Our export is exceeding our importation now. When we have those who are managing information at the federal level to start dishing out information to everybody, translate it into all the languages in the country, give it to the state information officers, from the state information to local government. Let's be dishing out this information. You see, when people don't have information, they take lies as part of the information. We need to educate our people. Whatever they are doing, whatever impact they are making, it's not everybody that will sit down and watch TV with all this band A, band B, band C, this thing. So people are even managing, is it television they should or is it the freezer? Like that. But when it becomes the talk of the town, you sit down at joint, at clubs, you discuss it, then people will start to know. And with time, I want to believe in another 1 year, the impact will start feeling it. But before we start feeling that positive impact, let's be telling the people, let's read out information, basic data and facts about development in the economic sector. Let's be dishing it out. And with time, me as part of the government, I can say immediately Asiwaju came in with the suspension of subsidy.
Are you okay with the subsidy?
Yes, as
people believe that he is not in. He does not know anything. He just said subsidy,
Asiwaju, you don't need to be president before you have information about Nigeria. The little we are saying, am I the president?
Because you're part of the government.
So Asiwaju, who had been governor before, who had been senator, who was a leader of our party. You see, people just play with words. When things are not going right, they will say he was part of the government.
Yeah.
So how can you say he does not know? He knew. As a government, when he came in, I know what comes to us from the federal allocation. I know what we are earning now. Things I was unable to do as a head of a local government before I actually came in. We are doing it now. I can come out and say, yes, I'm a proud local government chairman. I can say I've worked. I can say I've contributed to the development of Badagry. If the funds were not there, I won't be able to do it. Anybody that comes to our secretariat Anybody that walks around our secretariat, anybody that comes to Badagry will know that improvement has come to Badagry in the last 3 years. How did I achieve that? Not magic, because funds are available. And that's what at times Asiwaju was trying to tell people, that you always talk about the president. Go and ask your state governors, what are they doing with their money? Go and ask your local government chairman, what are they using your money for? And if we can take care of our people at the local level, the cry to the upper layer will reduce. Somebody needs a minor problem, wants to buy food. Now, it does not need the president. I don't need to know the president to survive. No, I agree. The subsidies created some hardship. The fuel pump jumped up, and with fuel, everything moves up.
But you know, many Nigerians, majorities of Nigerians, knew that there is no crude oil in Nigeria, but they still believe it's Asiwaju that caused it.
Crude oil?
Yeah.
We have crude oil.
But we are told that we don't have crude oil.
No. We have.
So why is the refinery not working?
That's another issue. We have crude oil. We have about 3 or 4 refineries in the country, and they are not working. They've not been working. Before Obasanjo left the government as a military government, I think about 3 were working. By the time he came back as civilian president, the 3 or 4 refineries...
Badagry is working, Kaduna is working then.
They were not working when he came. He was trying to fix it. But
Badagry is working, Kaduna is working.
Then, but what happened? They stopped working, not when Asiwaju came in.
No, I'm not saying it. No.
Then look at the light issue. The light, we've been having problem with electricity generation. I remember during Obasanjo time, about $16 billion was spent for generation. What did they generate? Darkness. Who are the people that collected the money? So every succeeding government have been trying to work on the generation. They've been working on revamping of our refinery. All this money, dollars, going into it, $1 million. What stops it? How many years will it take to build a new one? I think we have problems in Nigeria. And it's the leadership. So Asiwaju should do more. If there are problems, expose the problems. Nobody should be a sacred cow this time around. In fact, for his name's sake. You know, God has blessed him. He has made him. He should not allow anybody to soil his name. Thank God, he said he has no Kaba, no Godfather. He's the main man. One man battalion, one man gang, one man mopo. And he has his name to protect. And we've had severally that he's not there to make money. He has made enough in his life that can sustain him. So when God chooses to take him away, but for his name
To be protected.
to be protected, everybody that is an hindrance to the development of Nigeria to be exposed, so that that Nigeria of his dream will come to reality while it's our person.
How do you think Nigerian dream will come reality now?
The greatest thing that can be bad, that can happen to a man, is to be hopeless. When you lose hope, you lose focus, you lose determination, and you can even lose this zeal to pursue your goal. So I'm one of the hopeful in Nigeria that Nigeria problems can still be fixed and Nigeria will be good.
You remember that Asiwaju is not dealing with one state, Lagos State. He's dealing with the whole Nigerian. So do you think that knowledge, the way he Look at the way he did Morocco,
Yeah.
the way he did the way so many things were reformed in Lagos. Do you think he can work on that?
I know that Nigerian state is a complex state. I know that there are powerful elements. I know there are fifth columnists. I know there are politicians who will not make him to succeed. But then, aside God in a nation, the greatest power in a nation is that of the president. You can't stop the president that has resolved to succeed. When the resolution is there, when he really wants to write his name in gold, then he should fear no mortal. The essence of life itself is not how long you live or how long you stay in a position, but what can you do to humanity that the rest of humanity will remember you and be saying a lot of things about it. The one Awolowo did, we are still talking about him. The one Abiola did, we are still talking about him. Even what Abacha did, we are still making reference. But the best for every human being is to do something good that people will be proud of, and the generations that will even come after you will read about it and will say, this man did it best. So with that determination, with that resolve, he can dismantle all obstacles. God in his side. I pray he wins. Even if he does not win, but God forbid he must win. Even if he does not win, people will say that he fought gallantly. And people will be praising him. His children, we who are his old soldiers too, will be proud of him. So we should not relent. We should not be afraid. He's a courageous man. He should give it everything he has. And I'm sure he will succeed.
Yeah, thank you very much. Lastly, sir, I just want you to talk about the youth in Nigeria. You know, most of this youth, what they are saying, bringing protest, everything, Asiwaju must go, what would you enlighten the youth?
Well, there are so many categories of youth. Some are enlightened, some are informed, some had witnessed. Most of them were born after the military rule, so they were not opportune to know that corruption during the military was even worse than what is now. Even where there are corruption now, it spreads. It's still not good. But during the military, it's one shame. And people suffer. People lay their lives. The likes of Alfred Rwani and co. They die because of democracy. So it will amount to being anti-people to ask for military to come. What is our problem?
I think if you watch one protest in Ibadan, and Tinubu must go, because they don't, most of this youth does not know what war is. So that's why I want you to enlighten them.
That is, we will continue to engage them. But then too, you see, most of our youths, they are not in the majority. Those who are saying they want military, they are not in the majority, only that they are loud. So we continue to educate them. And one way of curbing this protest is to improve on the economy. When I'm busy, When I'm at work, when I'm earning decent money, I won't have time to stay on the street and protest. The likes of Sore that are leading it, they have that's what they eat. They have sponsors. Their family, you won't see their children among the protesters.
Yeah.
Their children, their own family, even himself, they are at the comfort of Western world where they are. So when they get money, support, they come around, dole out, change the currency, foreign currency into naira, and dole out peanuts to people. And they come out, some of them in the process, they lost their life. So let them work. If all these refineries are working, we won't have reasons to import. And if the state government, the federal government cannot fix the refinery, they should sell them out. They should sell them out to individuals. Dangote has done one. Others can do. We have crude oil in the country. We don't have business importing crude to be refined here. We should be selling it out. When it becomes, before the commencement of this interview, I mentioned some places that they don't rely on disco for electricity again. By the time we have it, like all this communication industry, we would start having options. Do I buy from Dangote? Do I buy from Onilude? Do I buy from this and this? It will become competitive and cheaper. But when NNPC is the monopoly that has the monopoly of importation, they can decide to use it for anything. And what are they subsidizing? They are subsidizing it for those who are bringing it in. So they earn more money. It's whatever they said they brought in that they will be paid, even if they don't even import to that extent. It's a matter of discussing with the authorities in charge of fuel. If they bring in 5 million liters, so to say, they can say it's 10 million. They get their money, pay money. That is what Asiwaju has done. And when you cut the means of livelihood of Kabah, you should expect a fight back.
That's what they are doing.
That's what they are doing. And it should not be strange to him. Almost street, no. So you can go fight back. And he has the resources of the state behind him too. Those ones too are rich. But then you can't fight the state and win. So he has the advantage of the state behind him. So we should continue to educate and engage. That's why I'm happy for the summit. He promised he will do for the youth. Yes, we should do it to engage them so that we keep talking. When we keep talking, we reduce the tension. But when we stop talking, then you give room for tension to build up. And the best way is to get employment, whether in the private sector. While we were growing up, there are people that will tell you, I don't want to do government job. You can't. SMEs will close up with the rate fuel high is going up. So if it is electricity and fuel, Asiwaju can fix for us. Let him fix it. Those who will come after him too will start developing from that place. Development cannot occur when there is no power. There is nowhere in the world that can be done. So I'm very sure he can do it. I believe in him. I trust him. He has the capacity and he has the people that he can use.
So the youth should be patient.
They should be patient.
They should focus.
And they should be focused. And government.
Nigeria is going to be reformed back again.
I believe so.
That's what
government should engage them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
God bless you.
That's my Asiwaju story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. This is my Asiwaju story. Yeah, with the chairman of Badagry local government, Central Badagry local government. The name of the sir?
Olusegun Onilude.
Olusegun
Onilude.
Honorable Olusegun
Onilude.
Onilude. Thank you very much, sir.